Hey everybody, welcome back to Harris Family Adventures. I'm in a little bit different spot. I am meeting some friends for lunch and it was a bit early, so I wanted to film at least one more kind of follow-up to our Barcelo most recent stay at the all-inclusive. So I have some other videos that came out the last couple of weeks. I will link them down below. You can go look at them there. But I wanted to talk a little bit about our travel experience because we have been going to Mexico for years and years. We've gone to lots of different all-inclusives, and there were some things this time that were a little bit different. First of all, when you go, now we often fly out of the Omaha airport, and we found that the kiosks were actually not open. Oh, there's people leaving. That's awkward. The kiosk did not open until 4 a.m. Now our flight was at 6, so that wasn't a big deal, but just kind of know that, yeah, you might want to check on that beforehand. When we got to, so we flew through Denver, everything went fine. We only had a 1-hour layover and we were towards the back of the plane, but we got to our next gate just fine. When we got to Cancun, we had about a 45-minute wait through customs and immigration. Now, if you've seen my other videos about Mexico, you know that sometimes we've gone and we cannot walk through like the line barricades fast enough because there's no one there, and other times we've had to wait for up to 2 hours and I cannot find a rhyme or reason for it. So it was about a 45-minute wait, which is kind of a bummer. I will say something that was very different this year was we did not have any forms to fill out. So it used to be in the olden days you would get one form per household when you entered Mexico. Usually they gave them out on the planes, and then you would have one form per person. Then last time Justin and I went, I think last year, there was just the one per household. What was always annoying is you had to keep like the bottom of one of the forms and show that when you were leaving, so you had to kind of keep track of that. And this time, on the plane, they didn't mention the forms. And I actually asked my sister and brother-in-law because they had just gone down to Mexico in February, and they're like, yeah, there were no forms. And so there were no forms, and I love that. I hope that sticks around. By the time we made it through customs and immigration, our luggage had already been out. We ended up checking one bag and then gate checking 2 others, which was really nice. It meant we didn't have to deal with them in Denver. They had announced in Omaha that it was a full flight, and so we just checked them on through, and they were waiting for us right there at the Cancun airport. One of them, Reese's suitcase, the handle was already wonky. It was an old suitcase, and when we picked it up, the handle was completely broken, completely. So I know people have reservations against checking luggage for damage is one of the reasons, and there was some damage, but again, we had already decided that was its last trip, so it wasn't a huge deal. If you've seen my other videos, you know I talk about the Cancun airport and the shark tank. After you've gotten your luggage and you go through a hallway that's still inside, so many people saying oh, you need to come talk to me, you need to come talk to me, do you want to go snorkeling, do you want to go on a boat tour, do you need to come talk to me? No, you're supposed to come over here. And you just and we had my niece and nephew, and I had warned them. I had my nephew's hand, and I was like, there's going to be people saying they need to talk to us. We're just going to ignore them. And I know that doesn't sound very kind. We're from Nebraska. We say hi back to people when they say hi to us, but we just ignore them. Then when we got outside, there was even more of them, and then there was a barrier a little bit farther back, and that's where the official transportation drivers were. So just kind of know that. I feel like there's even more than there used to be. Having said that, in a couple weeks now, Justin and I are going to be headed back down. We're going back to the Valentine. I know a lot of you like the Valentine videos. Sorry, my camera is kind of shaky here. So we'll see. We'll see what that's like. It is about a 1-hour drive to the Barcelo. Now, we had private transportation, so we didn't have to wait for anybody else to join. I know sometimes when you have shared transportation, you might have to wait for other people to get through customs and immigration and get their luggage, and then you might have to drive and drop them off at the resort. So it's about an hour. And I've talked all about the check-in, and I'm going to be doing another video about some of that stuff too. So I'm just specifically talking more air travel and airports. So coming back, we have really found this to be helpful, and I know some people don't like it, but when you go back into the Cancun airport, and we have flown United the last couple of times, there are people there ready to help you, and they can kind of feel aggressive, but they just want your bags and they want to walk you up to a kiosk and they want to do it. Let them do it. And yes, tip them. So let them help you. They are faster at a kiosk, faster at getting things on. I mean, our entire, and I am not joking when I say our entire check-in process was 5 minutes. Like, it's so slick, it's so easy. Can you do it on your own? Absolutely. And it's not like 5 minutes versus 2 hours, but just let them. Just let them. You're probably gonna have some 1s and 5s left in tip money. Just let them and tip them. We had to wait for about 10 minutes for security, so that wasn't too bad. If you know the Cancun airport, you go up the escalator and that's where security is. We made it through security. They had flagged my niece and nephew's bags. We think it's because they had water bottles. No, they were empty, but they had water bottles. But then my mom was really thirsty, and so she asked my sister to go to the gift shop and buy her a water. You guys, it was $8. It was $8. We had gone to the same gift shop and we had gotten Reese a shirt. We always get him a shirt, and it was on sale. I think it was $22 a bottle of water. It was $8. Again, we were able to gate check. So let me back up a little bit. Cancun Airport, you have to stay. You don't have to stay. It makes most sense to kind of stay in that central area once you get through the duty-free shops until they announce your gate, just because you don't know where it's going to be. They don't usually announce your gate until like 10 minutes before boarding, it feels like. So we hung out in that little area. We went to our gate and they started boarding almost immediately. Boarding was kind of a mess, but it was fine. It was fine. But they did offer gate checking. So this time, because we had 3 like wheeled carry-on bags, one with a broken handle and 2 others, and then our check bag. So our check bag was already gone. That was the one we had paid to check, but then they were offering to gate check. So I took 2 more of our bags, the one with the broken handle being one of them. We were able to gate check them. Yes, coming back in Denver, we had to grab them and then recheck them. But I was so thankful that we had gate checked them, because going through Denver, which we're gonna talk about next, we didn't have to worry about it. I didn't have to carry that bag because you couldn't carry it by like the wheeled handle. You had to like lift it. So I know people don't like checking bags, but we've done it. We did it almost every flight for Italy last year and it's worked out just great. Anyway, Denver was awesome. I think I'd flown through Denver one time prior. I think when we were coming back from Alaska or something. But yeah, going down, like I said, it wasn't a problem. We were able to make our connection just fine. Coming back, we had more time, which you want, you know, your first airport when you're re-entering the country. It was a lot of walking. It was a lot of walking. I will say that there was a lot of walking, but there were signs like a 15-minute walk until you're there, a 10-minute walk until you're there, a 5-minute walk until you're there. There were some moving walkways. Then there were really helpful, informative signs and videos where they were talking, and I don't like slow talking, I'm a fast talker, but they weren't like super fast talking. And so it would say like, next, you'll be asked to show the front of your passport. Please have the front of your passport ready, be ready to show that. So it was great because everybody knew what was expected of them. I don't think we had to wait there at all. Then, and you guys, it's been a couple weeks, so my memory's not great, but there was escalators, we went up escalators, we went down escalators. It was maybe a 10-minute wait through security, but they were super nice. If you guys have, like last summer in Houston, they just were shouting. It was so much shouting. Even in Cancun, the lady was shouting. It was so much shouting, and they were just really kind. They were just really kind. They did ask, you know, where were you? How long were you there? They asked Reese what? I think they asked Reese his birthday. And so he knows that. And then he said, next time I'll ask him what his parents' names are. So I guess that's how they're making sure he belonged to us. I don't know, but it all went really, really well. And we just kept saying, and my parents travel extensively, and they just kept saying like, they're so nice. They were so nice. It was awesome. So we got through all of that really quickly, took the tram, found our gate. There, you know, Denver is huge. So again, there's a lot of walking. Everybody was able to find something to eat. It was kind of grody, the airport, and there wasn't a ton of charging, and kind of, we like to claim a corner. So then that corner is ours, and we can put all of our luggage in that corner. We can kind of sit in that corner. We have small kids, they can look out the window in that corner. And there wasn't charging over there. So then, like, one of us would sit over where everybody was charging their things, but not me, because if you see my packing list, you know, I always take a portable charger, and I was able to charge my phone there, no problem. So yeah, you will have to, when you re-enter the country, if you don't know this, you have to grab your luggage and then recheck it, which is literally just handing it to a person, and you'll see it on the get-go. And then we flew home. Our only flight with in-seat entertainment was the flight back Denver to Omaha, which is like a 2-hour flight. All of the other ones we had to use our personal devices for, and it's like a 4-hour flight between Denver and Cancun, so that was pretty frustrating. But overall, we had really good travel days, and we were traveling that Sunday before Memorial Day and then coming back the next Sunday. So I know that they said like Memorial Day was one of the busiest travel days, and that weekend was one of the busiest travel weekends. But I think they were ready for it. They're prepared for it. So I'm gonna make one more video about the Barcelo. I was gonna just talk about, we were there 5 years ago, just kind of pros and cons 5 years later. If you wanna see that one, be sure to subscribe so that you know when it comes out. They typically come out on Sundays, but in the summer, things get a little bit hairy, scary. So otherwise, I will see you next time. If you have any questions, leave them below. Bye.
Can't forget the day we met. Your eyes so blue, me piercing through. I can't forget the day we met. Your smile so bright, it made me swoon. Our love is like a summer's day, hot and endless in a magic way. Whenever I see you, all I can think is my summer love. Been waiting for you, my love. My summer love. Been waiting for you, my love. I can't forget the day we met. You look so fly in your red Corvette. Your hair, your look, your everything. When I see it all, I knew that you were mine. I'm in love with your hair, your lips, your silhouette in the moonlight shine. With my love, you won't ever be alone. My summer love, been waiting for you, my love. Completely a fool, been waiting for you, my love. Head over heels, I'm blinded by what I feel. My love is forever yours. You have my heart, you have my